Alrighty. Hey, Lisa, you there?
Hello. How you
Hey,
doing?
what's going on? Thanks for coming. Anyone else from your team going to be joining, or is it just you?
There was meant to be someone else, but he's not joined me. But I'm chasing him up in the DMs right now. So hopefully he'll join us later in the show. If not, you're stuck with me. So apologies for that.
I think we'll do just fine with you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. My name is Noah. I'm here today with Lisa, Smoky Lisa of Rollbit. And not to take your thunder, Rollbit is a crypto casino, but it's a lot more than that, it seems, after diving a bit deeper into it. Now, I want to have Lisa explain more in depth what they're building. It's, from my own anecdotal experience so far, much different than other crypto casinos I've seen, and I've seen a lot of them. But Lisa, before we get started talking about the ecosystem, let's take a step back and learn a bit more about you, your career trajectory, and how you found yourself working in the industry.
For sure. Happy to start off with that. Firstly, I'm sure you are all sort of wondering what's that accent. No, it's not Irish. It is indeed Scottish. So sorry for anyone out there that struggles to understand me, but I'm trying to speak as slow as possible and as clearly as possible. But anyway, so I mean, I've been into crypto since sort of like 2016, on and off, but pretty hardcore since like 2017 before the major bull run then. But originally, I mean, my career started off. I'm an engineer by trade, so manufacturing in the defense industry, electronics, and then I went into consultancy after that. So a lot of that was about transformation, change management, Internet of Things, all that good stuff. And I sort of stumbled across Rollbit with their first NFT project when that was sort of getting popular, and worked my way up. Basically, my thesis is try and provide as much value as you can, and the roles come after that. So I started off as a community moderator, just a humble moderator in the chat, making sure there's no crazy stuff going on. And about, what's it now? I don't even know how long it's been now, but probably about a year. And now I'm community manager. So that's sort of the journey I've taken. It's learned a lot. It's a strange place to work in the quote unquote Web3 space. I mean, the more I hear the term Web3, the less I like it. But generally, it's just a lot better company working with like in the sort of startup environment as opposed to the corporate world, which I worked in before, and I did not like it. It's ironic. I say this to people a lot. Like I never wanted a 9 to 5 job, and ironically now I probably work even more. So I think it's more about the right to choose, though. So I'm sure everyone will find themselves in that similar situation. That's in similar role to myself.
So really quick question before we dive into the ecosystem, yeah. Smokey. Do you find that any of your skills as an engineer translate to the crypto or any of the stuff that you worked on in the industry?
Oh, 100%. I mean, engineering, in my opinion, is more of a mindset, a way to approach challenges and puzzles. You break it down into blocks, and there's the term systems thinking, and you can break anything down in terms of engineering. I mean, looking at engagement, stats, the data on tweets, value mapping features on the site, trying to figure out, where does the value actually lie? Where should we look at promoting? How do we promote that most effectively? And to be honest, it's all just scoring matrices, and it's everything you would use in engineering before. So it has translated really well, and it gives you more of a logical approach to do things rather than just winging it all the time. So it certainly has. I would recommend. I mean, I wouldn't recommend anyone to go into engineering because, to be honest, I think it's quite a difficult thing to do, and the pay isn't very good. So, and there isn't much, in my opinion. There's not much scope. I mean, I reached the sort of like consultancy level. I don't think there's much more you can do after that. And it just wasn't that fulfilling. I mean, some of the challenges are interesting to solve, but in this space, it's every day is a new day, and the meta changes weekly. I mean, one week you see people tweeting GMs, encouraging everyone to GM. The next week, tweeting GMs is now the boring thing to do, and spam. So mute GMs. So you're always changing up. So yeah, going back to that point, yeah, I would say so. I would say breaking things down in chunks like that and analyzing trends. It's all part and parcel.
Okay, yeah. So a couple things to take away from that: engineer and skills you learn as an engineer do translate into crypto, and don't become an engineer unless it's a super specific engineer. Otherwise, you're probably not going to make much money.
When I say engineer, I mean more of like in the physical sense engineering. Obviously, you've got like software engineers, totally different. There's all sorts of engineers. Like people just chuck the term engineer onto the end of anything these days. I'm more talking about mechanical engineering, electronics, product engineering, manufacturing engineering, things like that, where it is challenging, but I just don't believe the money's there. So not that I'm saying it's all about the money, but I mean, I quit my consultancy role, moved into this community management role, and I was taking a pay cut. But I actually enjoy it. It's what I want to do. So it's not always about the money. So
yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And there is lots of opportunity in crypto, so it's a good place to be. With that said, tell us about Rollbit. From what I understand and what I explained earlier, Rollbit is a casino, but it's actually crypto's most innovative casino. And you guys have 100 or 1,000x leverage futures. You guys have obviously casino, a sportsbook, NFT loans, NFT gambling. Let's dive into it. Give us a breakdown, and then we can jump into nuts and bolts individually.
Yeah, sounds good. Rollbit. It started off as a humble crypto casino. Only a few house games. Roulette, things like that. And it's sort of developed over time, and it's grown arms and legs. And now we sort of see Rollbit as a sort of one-stop shop for degens of pretty much every single possible way you could be a degen. But like you say, we've got the casino, the sportsbook, typical. I mean, everyone sort of has a grasp on what that is. We have NFT loans that you touched on. So we have the best in industry NFT loans. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. They assume that since it's Rollbit, it's probably not going to be that good. But we have better LTV, loan to value, than Bendau, and we have no interest on them. So there's that. We have NFT gambling, so NFT loot boxes, where you can basically win any NFT from OpenSea. You could just drag it in, put in a percent chance to win. Say you want a 1% chance, it will then take 1% of the price and then add a small house fee, and you could literally win a Bored Ape for like a fraction of the price. So that's another aspect. Like touched on, we've got the crypto futures up to 1,000x leverage. That is maximum degen, of course. We have seen lots of examples of people getting lucky with that. I mean, luck, skill, whatever you want to call it, riding small 1,000x positions up massively. So that's quite interesting. We've got, well, to be honest, before I go into everything, generally a hub, anything you can sort of think of gambling wise, we've got it. But one important aspect is sort of just over a year ago, we started to dive into NFTs. So we've got two NFT projects. So the first project is sort of centered around the casino. So we as a business, we give back sort of we put 20% of our expected profits from the casino into a pool, and every 100 Bitcoin blocks, you can enter that pool with our native token, and you can 100 people will win a share of that. So, I mean, every day people are winning. I mean, the top prizes are like thousands of dollars, but there's also a jackpot feature, which rolls, I believe, on average, it's like 1 in every 10 to 20 lotteries, and you see people winning like $50,000 plus. So that's quite interesting. But the NFTs, we call them V1s, which is our first collection. That gives you sort of bonuses in relation to gambling. So you get additional rake back, which is essentially a cut of the house edge. You get shares of our gasless marketplace, and you also get. I don't want to touch on the tokenomics just on a brief summary, but there's like our native token has a lot of tokenomics around the lottery. So you've got to stake your native token to, essentially it's a lottery ticket, and every time you stake, a percentage of that gets burned. A percentage of that fee gets burned, and a percentage goes back to the holders. So yeah, I always hate going over all the features because it takes so long and there's so many features, and I end up stumbling over them all. But basically, casino, sports, NFT, crypto futures.
Yeah, no, it's okay, and we don't have to cover everything. Let's keep it high level. Obviously, there's a lot to go through, and we can talk about the components that you like the most, or I can ask questions about things that I'm most curious about. And so I have a lot of questions. I'll get started with asking which countries is this fully available in? Because I did notice that depending on where people try to log in from, certain aspects of or rather certain parts of the website don't work.
I mean, there's a full list on our website. If you go into our terms and conditions, there's essentially a restricted regions that outlines all of the restricted areas. It's quite complicated because there's some areas that we definitely don't support. For example, the US, we don't serve US customers. The UK, we don't serve UK customers. But there's also more, like, it's best to look at terms and conditions, but there's intricacies. So certain countries will ban certain slots but allow other slots, so that there's quite a lot of complexity. So if anyone is curious, if you head to Rollbit, go to the footer of the site at the bottom, go into terms and conditions and just control F and hit restricted, it will show you what countries are not allowed. So that's an easier list than saying what is allowed, to be honest. But
yeah, no, I noticed actually I'm here myself and there are quite a few. Let's see. And I mean, I'm assuming folks can probably, okay, so let's say that folks are in a country that allows them to interface with Rollbit. I see a register button. Does that mean that people need a KYC, or is it just like an email registration?
It's just, I mean, you don't need to KYC to create an account. So KYC is typically restricted for if we need to know who someone is. For example, if somebody is a game abuser or there's suspicious activity, typically they'll be KYC'd. And if you're KYC'd, if you've got a license from, say, a US driving license, I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't complete KYC, because you could be a US you could be a US citizen living anywhere in the world. So we have people who don't even live. So I mean, we've had queries from people that don't live in those countries with that license, asking that, and it's like, no, you can KYC with any document. The origin of the document doesn't matter, but obviously, if for example, you admit to us, you say, "Oh, I play in the US," we'd obviously have to, like, restrict your account. And if we restrict your account, we wouldn't steal your money. You would get your money back, but you would be no longer be allowed to play on the site. So
Yeah, I do see that there are quite a few countries that are either blacklisted or limited, and a lot of them are in Europe. I'm trying to figure out a country where I can, or never mind. I'm not gonna go down that. Do you know any countries specifically that are able to have full access? to this to everything that you guys have to offer? I know that I don't want to harp on this for
Yeah,
too long, but I'm just curious.
yeah. I mean, I could list some off. I mean, like I say, I wouldn't take my words like 100% because I'm not fully versed in the legal compliances. But some countries that jump to mind are like countries like Ireland or Germany or Japan or places like the Philippines. But the Philippines depends on the slot, so it does depend. I would say if you're curious, if your country's blacklisted, just look it up. A lot easier. Than me sort of like saying you can definitely go in and you log on and it says you're restricted. So just look up yourself. That's what I'd say.
Cool. And Lisa, what are some currencies that people are able to gamble with? Is it crypto specifically? Can people use dollars, euros? How does it work?
Okay, so we don't have a crypto on ramp, so you can't use fiat. However, we do accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, and a whole bunch of ERC20 tokens, such as like USDC, Polygon, Ape, Tether, Dai, Shiba, Sandbox. So yeah, we have massive amount of deposit methods, but no, we don't have a crypto on ramp. It's not really something we've thought about exploring it in the past, but currently it's not like our highest priority. We're sort of focusing on other features that are coming out soon that are quite exciting. So
I do see a buy crypto button at the bottom, on the bottom
yeah,
right hand corner.
that's correct. So that's literally just going to take you to a crypto on ramp such as MoonPay, where you can set up an account, buy crypto, and then you can send crypto to Rollbit from there. But it's not integrated.
As far as sports betting goes, it's very similar to traditional sports betting. You find a sport, you find a match you want to bet on, and then based on the I guess the stats, you place your bet, and the contracts do the rest. How does it work?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, the sportsbook works. I mean, I'm not going to say identically to like a fiat sportsbook because there is some intricacies and differences on certain markets within the sportsbook, but it's literally as simple as say you have $100 worth of Bitcoin, you deposit it, it will get converted into a token which essentially represents a dollar. So you have $100. You can go into any market on the sportsbook and you place it, and it literally when it comes in, you'll just be instantly credited to your account, and that's it. It's pretty simple. There's no complex no complex method really. It's pretty straightforward. You just place a bet. If it wins, it comes in. As simple as that, and it goes straight back into your balance, and you can withdraw that balance to any cryptocurrency you want. So
What are some ways that you guys are trying to attract people from traditional sports betting applications and ecosystems into this one?
yeah, so I mean that's a good question. A lot of fiat casinos, you know, they have huge sports betting, sports apps. I mean, because it's easy, because you've got the fiat on ramp. There's no need to convert to crypto. It's just fiat casino or sportsbook. But one way we differentiate, which people don't realize, is we have like a reward system on site. There's like ranks, and you get money for ranking up, and you get percentage of the house edge back. Fiat casinos don't do that, or fiat sportsbooks don't do that. They keep the whole of the house edge. I mean, maybe you'll get some, deposit $10 and get $20 and whatever, but it's like a one-off thing. We really focus on trying to give back as much of the house edge or advantage to the player as possible, whilst still making enough to obviously turn a profit, but also stay afloat in terms of risk management. Because of course, you know, with crypto especially, I mean, there's already a massive element of risk management to any casino or sportsbook, but when you add crypto into it, and it really starts to get more complicated. In saying that, we do have like a massive reserve of stable coins, but it's still, it's still relevant. So Yeah, that's what I'd say. A reward system much better than the traditional sports books. You place $100 on a bet, you'll get money back straight away, and yeah, we have pretty good odds, and also we have, there's certain codes, for example, with influencers in the space, where if you sign up under their code for our site, you get 10% back on your sportsbook losses, which is pretty mad. I don't think anyone else in the whole sports betting industry has 10% back on losses. So that's a pretty major unique selling point.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think in the traditional sports betting industry you get anything back on a loss.
No,
Right? I'm not a big
no.
I'm not a betting man, but I just watching my friends bet on sports and watching them bet on a wide array of different sports. I always was under the impression that if you lose, you lose, and you say goodbye to your money.
Yeah, literally, yeah. I mean, also as well, you've got the community aspect to Rollbit and other crypto casinos, right? I mean, we've definitely got the best community by far. In part, that's probably bolstered by our NFT projects. I mean, our NFT projects have got great communities, but the holders of our projects typically use the site generally anyway. So our community is solid. I mean, if you go into even if you went onto the site chat and you had a look around, I mean, the chat is like moving all day, and you wouldn't get that on a
It's
typical
crazy, man.
sports book.
I logged in. The first thing that I saw was the chat on the right. I'm like, holy crap, man! There's a lot of people on here. It feels like a Twitch, like a popular Twitch streamer's chat. Man, this is going.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, we've got like tipping systems, like I say, rank systems, and you start to find, like develop friendships with people. You can, if you send your friends some tips, like you win big, you can send your friend a tip, they could send you a tip. People send tips out in the chat, so it's pretty exciting. But apart from that, we've got our Discord, which is sort of more like a sort of tight knit community as opposed to the site chat, which is more like sort of general. And in the Discord, we have not so much anymore, but we used to run like sports betting events in the Discord. But still, I mean, if people want to watch like the games, like a football game or a hockey game, people can stream it in the Discord and chat, and that's I think that's one of my favorite things about sort of Rollbit in comparison to the other sites is people are just friendly, to be honest. And that if you went on our Discord, I'd say like maybe 80-90% of the time, I'd say 90% of the time, there's always somebody streaming in the Discord, or you know, or chatting away. So there's always people to talk to. It's not like, you log on to like Ladbrokes, which is like a popular UK sports book, and there's no chat, there's nothing. It's just like place your bet and that's it. So there's no social element to it.
So I'm curious, and I see here that there's a live casino, roulette, blackjack, side bets, challenges. What are challenges, and what's the roller coaster?
Okay, interesting. So you actually glanced over one of the cooler features, which is side bets. It's one of our. I'll quickly go over that, and then I'll go over the rest. Side bets is like a unique selling point we have that no other site has. It's essentially, so I'm not too familiar. I'm not sure how familiar you are with like slots or bonus buys or things like that. But
I'm a novice when it comes to this stuff, man. I
okay.
really don't know much about anything.
Okay, well, there's essentially certain features on a slot where you could say spend $20 and it's like a sort of a special round it'll do, and you get like 10 free spins and it drops like cool multipliers and stuff. Essentially, a side bet allows you to put as it says, a side bet on. So you could say, I'm going to bet on the result of the next spin being above, say, a 2x return, and you could bet like $10 on that. So it adds like a new dynamic to the gambling. I mean, we're by far. I mean, it's obviously sounds biased coming from me, but if you asked anyone in the industry, they would all agree Rollbit is definitely the most innovative casino. I mean, we're really like pushing the boundaries with things like that. Challenges, that's essentially a similar thing. It's sort of if you can achieve like a criteria, say you you do a spin of $1 and it hits like $1,000, you could hit a challenge for that, and that will pay out like a bonus, say like $50 or $100. It sort of depends. You can tailor them, and that's an incentive for people to get people betting under their referral code. So you can set a challenge specific to your referral code to try and encourage people to play on it. So that's quite cool. Roller coaster. Roller coaster is essentially a provably fair sort of trading game. It's not. It doesn't work in the same like. It's not based off any real crypto asset. It's essentially a provably fair generated. I'm trying to think how best to explain it. Essentially, it's a randomized number, and it will go up and down, sort of mimicking like a trading structure, but it's 1,000 times more volatile than Bitcoin. So it's more just like degenerate fun. And when you pair 1,000 times more volatile than Bitcoin with 1,000x leverage, it can get pretty crazy. So if you really want to go degenerate, that's probably the place to do it. To be honest, it's quite fun, but obviously, be careful with things like that. Don't, only spend money that you're willing to lose, and when the fun stops, stop. That's what I say. As long as you're having fun. I mean, obviously, you've got to set your limits, play within them. But I think a lot of people in this space are getting sort of better at that. I mean, to be honest, the return to player on a slot is probably higher than 99% of the NFT projects out there, because on like a blackjack, for example, you got like, I don't know, like a 1% house edge. Over time you're going to lose 1%. On some of these NFT mints, you're looking at like it's going to zero within like 2 months. So people are getting a little bit more clued up when it comes to degenerate mints and gambling and whatnot.
So with that said, are there any ways for people to set limits for themselves in case they do start to lose too much? The DApp locks them out, or the casino locks them out for a certain period of time?
Okay, so this is a topic which it's kind of complicated, because obviously it would be nice if you could set your own limits, right? By like hard blocking yourself. But the issue with that is that works on a traditional casino or sportsbook, because you need to full KYC. All the details are shared between each other, and it's super sort of centralized. For us, if you say you can self-exclude and things like that and ban your account, but say you put a limit on your account of $100, and then all you would need to do is, obfuscate your identity and create a new account and deposit via crypto. And it's like cryptocurrency is in itself not, it's not, it could be coming from anywhere. So it's really hard to sort of manage that. But typically there are like features that will help with this. So we have a feature called sub balances, where you can essentially, say you deposit $1,000 and you only want to spend 100, you can put $900 into a sub balance, so that your main balance, if it goes to zero, that's it. And that you can just sort of call it, and then the next day, if you don't want to deposit again, you can just pull off of that sub balance. But yeah, it's very challenging, because even if we were able to implement like blocks, I mean, if somebody sends cryptocurrency to an address, it's there. So yeah, that's probably what I'd say. Obviously, anyone that we suspect, is really like losing too much money, in terms of like they're not happy with it, they're saying questionable things in a Discord or chat, we'll reach out to them, and we'll more than likely ban them, because we don't want people sort of like, going too far. So we try and exercise responsible gaming as much as possible.
I want to start talking, and yeah, no, I hear you on all that. I want to start talking about the Rollbit coin and the tokenomics, the utilities it provides with respect to the overall ecosystem, if it allows players to own part of the casino, or rather own part of what the house keeps? Give us insight into all that, please.
Okay, yeah. Popular at the moment. Rollbit coin, aka RLB, has pumped maybe 10x in the past 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I guess we've been making a big push recently into sort of Twitter and getting our brand out there. And I guess it's sort of like picked up, and one of the places where it's seen easily is through the value of the RLB coin. So yeah, RLB. Initially, it was airdropped to the V1 holders of our NFT project. You got varying amounts depending on how many NFTs you owned, the I trait rarity on your NFT. I mean, you could have been airdropped up to 1 million RLB, I believe. So that is worth, I don't know, at this current moment, probably like 15k. So it's quite a big airdrop. So the RLB, like I was saying earlier with the lottery, 20% of the casino's funds get put into a lottery pool that's rolled every 100 blocks, and you need to use the Rollbit coin to enter that sort of run-in to win that. And the top 100 people essentially get a split of that 20% of our casino expected profits. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. It's quite complicated. Tokenomics, though. Tokenomics, essentially, when you stake to join this lottery pool, 0.2% is then taken as a fee. 50% of that gets burnt, which makes the token very deflationary, because obviously people are incentivized to burn by staking more, because staking more gives you more chance of winning the lottery. So at the moment, we just done a burn last week, and it was approximately $15 million worth of the token. So now we're down to total burned amount is about 34% of the supply. So it's only been out a year, so it's starting to seriously pick up. I think, but yeah, you can earn RLB through staking your V1s. You get, like I say, part of that fee back. 50% of the fee goes to holders. You get RLB from you can get from NFT deposit bonuses. So say, for example, right now you went to deposit a Bored Ape Yacht Club onto Rollbit. We would give you $1,000 straight up in bonus balance, which is basically balance you need to wager 5 times to withdraw. So you could get out like $900 if you wanted, but you also get 100k RLB, which is worth about $1,500, I believe. So quite neat.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, with that, the main utility is the lottery. I find it hard to just pitch it all at once, because there's quite a lot of details to each part of our site. But if anyone wants to find out more, I mean, there's white papers at whitepaper.rollbot.com. My DMs are always open, etc. So if anyone wants any like real in-depth details, I'm happy to answer. But general premise: 20% of our profits go into pool, stake RLB to win a chance, to get a chance of winning that. So.
And on the topic of the NFTs, can you give us a breakdown of the different types of NFTs? I see quite a few in the marketplace. How many of them are native to Rollbit, and then how many of them are NFTs that are being brought in from other ecosystems?
Yeah, so we've got two NFT collections. We've got Rollbots, which is the V1s, and then we've got, my PFP is meant to be a Rollbot. I drew it. If you scroll down in the space, I'm sure you'll see some people with some Rollbots, what they're meant to look like. But that's the first NFT. Then our second NFT, which is related to our sportsbook, is sports Rollbots, and with that, you essentially get profit share from the sportsbook, but you also get free bet every month. So, and on your comment about the other NFTs, like I was touched on earlier, there's an NFT deposit bonus. So it's sort of like a marketing stunt to try and get, NFT people onto our platform by basically giving them free money for depositing an NFT that they can withdraw straight away. but there's a lot of NFTs still on the marketplace because you don't have to pay royalties and it's gasless. So there is a 5% fee, but half of that fee goes back to the Rollbit holders. So but I could deep dive into either Rollbit or Sports Rollbit if you want. If you got any preference or
Yeah, let's talk about both. I think it's interesting.
Okay, cool. So I'll go Rollbits first, since they, chronologically they are the first collection we released. So as I was talking about earlier, our reward system, essentially, the way a reward system works in a casino is we have a house edge. That's how casinos make money, obviously. Could be, say, it depends on what game it is, what slot, what feature. But you assume it's like 1%. The rewards come from that 1% house edge. So you can get that through rakeback, rank up rewards, loyalty bonuses, lost back, things like that. And RV1s essentially, they have varying levels of rollback, they call it, which is essentially rakeback. So you can get up to 10% rollback, which is going to give you 10% of that house edge back. So for someone that is like a super high roller, owning one of these NFTs gives you back so much rewards. I mean, there's people out there that have made over $500,000 just on that one part of the NFT on the reward system. So there's always value in it from that, because you can get some of your money back. So there's also rev share, which is a trait which relates to our NFT loot boxes. So a user can buy a Rollbit and create an NFT loot box, not even owning any NFTs themselves. They can use NFTs from OpenSea, and if they can encourage users to spend their loot box, so advertising or making it attractive in terms of like cool prizes, then they'll get a commission on that. So it's essentially that they can have their own mini casino by creating their own loot box. And we've seen users have great success with this. One guy has made over $140,000 from one loot box. So there's just so much opportunity out there for anyone that's looking to make money. There's lots of different ways to do it. There's also
So what exactly is in the loot boxes?
Okay, yeah, good question. So you can add your own NFTs that you own. So for example, I could add my PFP right now. I could add that in, and I could set a value of it. So I could say, well, I think my PFP is worth 10,000. So that's the value of it in the loot box, and I could say there's a 1% chance, or let's say a 10% chance to win that. That's $1,000 to spin my PFP, and then if the user hits that, then Rollbit essentially gives me the full value of my NFT and gives the user my NFT. So, but as I was saying, you can also import NFTs from OpenSea. You can literally just, you could go into Bored Ape, you could find one that looks cool. You just drag the picture in, and it'll add it to the loot box. And if a user spins it and wins it, we have a bot that will essentially buy the NFT off of OpenSea and transfer it into their Rollbit account. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, that is quite cool, and I don't think I've seen anything like this in the industry. How long have you guys been around, and how many people? I guess how many people are on the core team or at kind of the leadership?
Okay, so I mean, we've been around since we've been in the space for a long time, but Rollbit started in February 2020. The core team behind it, those guys have worked on other sites in the past, CS:GO, gambling and whatnot, but decided to take the leap into crypto gambling. So since sort of early 2020, the core team. I mean, we've got a really lean team. I mean, we've got like developers in the background. You'll never see them. The two founders that you'll see are Lucky and Razor. They're the two founders, and then myself as the community manager and JPW as the head of sports, and he manages all the sportsbook and whatnot. So pretty close, lean team. I mean, we've got a lot of great staff and the support department, mods, whatnot. But yeah, super lean team. Get things done super fast. We've really focused on the infrastructure early on, and it allows us to sort of innovate faster than anyone else. So yeah, really, I'm really bullish on the team. I mean, it's hard to see from the outside, but on the inside, when you see what we're working on, what features are coming up, and when you have the inside scope of what other casinos are working on in terms of trying to copy our features and failing at, it makes you really bullish on Rollbit. So
yeah, no doubt. I guess a few more questions for me. One, what are clans and how do they work? And then
okay,
I can follow up on my next one.
cool. Clans, a fairly new feature we added. It is essentially, I'm not sure. Are you familiar with like watch together, or like Netflix watching parties, or where you can basically watch YouTube videos with your friends? Have you ever experienced those? Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, so it's essentially the same thing. So it's fractionalized social gambling. So say, you and your friends all have $10 and there's 10 of you. You can pull together and basically pull the balance to $100, and you can decide amongst yourselves, like, let's play this, let's play that, and it's essentially fractionalized. So it allows people to pull up money and do like huge bonus buys they would never normally be able to do themselves. Makes it really exciting. I host a clan every week, and we like, everyone joins and we end up running up like a massive balance, and we just do huge buys. Like, not sure I'm not sure if you've ever seen it before, but like big old Twitch streamers that would do gambling videos and stuff. They're like crazy numbers. Essentially, just lets you do that. It's really really fun, exciting. Another social element to gambling. So yeah, really cool. But essentially, it's a watch together session, like a sort of virtualized browser session where you can all join up.
It's certainly a unique feature, and I've noticed a bunch of them are still gray, no game selected. What does that mean?
What was that? Sorry.
I said I noticed a bunch of them are grayed out. Like the majority of them are grayed out.
Right. Okay.
Say no game selected. What does that mean?
Those are just inactive clans at the moment. So those are clans people have created but aren't playing at this very moment. Whereas the other ones you could see right now are people who are playing that live. So there's 2 clans at the moment I see with 13 players each, and then a couple of other smaller ones running. But yeah, no game selected just means the clan sort of sticks around. You can keep records of how much you've wagered, your P&L. Yes, it's just basically sticks around.
Final question from me before I pass it off to some audience members.
Yeah.
I noticed in the stream sections, you guys have quite a few, and I also noticed that you can log in with Twitch. You have quite a few Twitch streamers streaming games that are on Rollbit. Do you guys have any sort of partnerships with these streamers? Do you guys have any sort of partnership with Twitch?
Okay, so that's a funny question. Basically, Twitch like outlawed gambling for, well, I say they outlawed gambling. They outlawed a few different cryptocurrency casinos from gambling on Twitch. One of them was us. So we don't actually have anyone streaming on Twitch anymore. A lot of the gambling streamers moved over to other platforms such as DLive, Kick.com, things like that, like sort of like new sort of streaming platforms that are opening up, because Twitch banned gambling after from like I say, the certain casinos after a big controversy. Ironically though, they still allow gambling from other sites, and they still allow gambling in person. So yeah, not ideal.
Wait, so they specifically banned gambling from Rollbit?
Yes, they outlined. They mentioned the 3 sites, They mentioned 3 sites specifically in the ban. I believe it was Stake, Rollbit, and Rubet, potentially another one, but I can't remember. They literally just said you're not allowed to stream from these sites.
That's kind of odd. Why would? Was it because certain influencers were taking money from? Actually, I don't know. I remember reading some quick headline about influencers taking money from
Yeah,
from these companies and then like using that money to bet and like making it seem like they were winning
yeah,
more than they were, and then people were seeing this and they were betting more because they thought they could win more. I don't know. I heard that there was some sort of controversy, and I didn't recognize, or I didn't realize that Twitch had only singled out a few different companies and
yeah,
not gambling as a whole.
yeah. No, I mean, I think it all sparked from us, an influencer not on our site who basically stole viewers' funds or something and gambled them and lost them all. But yeah, that wasn't on our site. I mean, we wouldn't like our streamers are all like super like legit and vetted and whatnot. One thing I'd like to outline is other casinos do like fake money streams, like where you see like streamers basically, like using like fake money to make it look like crazy wins and stuff. Like all our streamers, like we don't allow fake money streams. Like if they want to stream, they have to use their own money basically. So
Yeah, that's what it was. It was fake money streams. That's what I was trying to get at. And then I guess actually my last question, the 25K daily raise. Can you explain how that works? And then I'll pass it off to audience members.
for sure, that's essentially a challenge for the high rollers of the site. Well, not only the high rollers. I think it's up to 100 people can win a share of that 25K. It sort of goes up in various increments, but the top prize daily is $10,000. Basically, it's like a PvP race. If you wager the most in the day, you get $10,000. Second most you get 5,000. Third most you get 2,000. It keeps going down. So it's essentially a way to incentivize high rollers to sort of play, and get money every day for it. It's like just another reward mechanism that you would never see in a real casino or a fiat casino. So I would like to touch on one thing though, a feature that we're bringing out really soon, that is not listed here. It's have you ever played RuneScape?
So I didn't play RuneScape. My friends played RuneScape. I played a lot of Diablo 2 and a lot of World of Warcraft, though.
All right, okay. I mean, like, RuneScape has, I don't know, it seems like a lot of people who are in the crypto space, a lot of founders of projects and whatnot, all sort of started off on RuneScape. One example would be the founder of Kraken, the exchange. He actually started off on, I think it was like Diablo and things, but RuneScape as well. So we sort of, there's a lot of people who reminisce with RuneScape, and one particular feature is the duel arena, where you could sort of PvP each other, and that sort of developed like a gambling hub within RuneScape. That subsequently got banned, and there is other ways gambling goes on RuneScape now, but we're sort of releasing our own version of the RuneScape duel arena, which is the Rollbot duel arena, and it's essentially a game mode where I could challenge you to a sort of PvP, one-on-one challenge where I could say, you know what, I'm going to put in $10,000. Are you going to match me or are you going to chicken out? and then we could sort of PvP against each other, and there's a 0% house edge on that, so it's literally like you get all the winnings. So it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be quite popular. Because I used to play RuneScape a lot when I was younger, so the nostalgia is all flowing back to me now.
Well, you guys weren't kidding when you said this is crypto's most innovative casino. I've seen quite a few casinos, and I can say with certainty that you guys have a broad range of features, and much of them very unique. I'd be curious to see where you guys head from here. I don't know what you have planned going into 2023 and beyond, but would love to hear some of the what are some things that you're most excited about coming up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one of our sort of goals for this year is become like crypto Twitter's like casino slash sportsbook like gambling hub of choice. So we've been making massive pushes into CT. You know, trying to get our name out there. Picking up some really OG CT influencers such as Gainsey and you know, people like Gainsey, KBM, people like that. Just, you know, so that's probably one big goal. Dominate CT, become crypto Twitter's DGen hub of choice. Apart from that, I mean, we are always striving to be the best. I mean, we always strive to have the best tech, so we want to keep that. We want to keep innovating. We're going for the number one spot, which is currently stake. So we've got a long way ahead of us, but we're gaining market share rapidly. I mean, you can see it yourself. If you went onto Etherscan and you looked at our hot wallet, you would see the growth. Even in the last month, it's probably like at least doubled in the last month. So, you know, that's probably the big goals. Reach that number one spot, remain the most innovative casino, and you know, just keep pushing out cool features such as the Rollbit Jewel Arena. And there's more in the works as well that I can't talk about, but very interesting stuff. And you know, we have a lot of features, and they're really slept on, like our, you know, like our trading. Our trading, people might, you know, pass it off as just, oh, it's not going to be good. It's genuinely more competitive than Binance on fees. There's no fees paid on losses. There's no slippage. It's ridiculous. Like for scalpers, we've got 9-figure traders who use our trading platform. People just don't know about it, but it's seriously good. We always try to, if we release a feature, we're going to make sure it's the best. Like I was saying with NFT loans, best loans in class by a mile, but not a lot of people know that. So, you know, we're just trying to make people aware of that stuff.
Well, I'm gonna thanks, by the way, Lisa, for that breakdown. And I can't really interface with the site too much because I'm not in one of the countries. But maybe if I visit one of the countries, I can play around with it more.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
To see where you guys end up, and I hope you get that one. Hope you get that number one spot. Gonna pass the mic to Aisha for the first audience question, and then I'll go down the list there.
Thank you, Noah. I was wondering, have you developed your own provably fair and verifiably random number generator algorithm, or you are using Chainlink VRF, which enables smart contracts to access random values without compromising security or usability?
That's a really good question. We have our own verifiable codes. It's all open source. You can see it online. If you go under, for example, to one of our Rollbit original games, you can verify the fairness of the game. It will show you all of the codes, how it's written exactly. It will give you like instructions how to prove it, and will supply a server hash because it's all cryptographically provably fair. So you know, obviously we can't tamper with the results or it'll break the chain. So we can, you know, give you the hash and you can verify yourself that that's exactly what the result was meant to be. So it's 100% provably fair. Not sure if that answers your question, but hopefully it does, because beyond that, I am useless.
Yeah, you answered my question. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Aisha. Mark, go for it. Mark, you there? All right, Mark's gone. Captain Levi, you're next.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. So I listened in the AME, and you made mention of a statement concerning the payments for the winnings. Where you made mention of OpenSea's winnings, people could have a high probability of winning even the Bored Ape NFTs. And we all know that some of these NFTs can reach up to 6 figures in price. And even if someone does win, he may not have the money to claim those winnings after winning the NFTs. So I wanted asking, is there a payment deadline for the winnings, and is it going to be auctioned off in the event where the person who won cannot make those payments?
Okay, so I think maybe you didn't fully grasp what I was saying. I probably didn't explain it very well. So, for example, if I have $100 on my balance and I spin to win a Bored Ape Yacht Club, I will, if it hits, that's it. I paid $100. That's it. I've won a Bored Ape Yacht Club for $100. Rollbit then fronts all the money themselves because there's a house edge applied to it. It's positive EV, positive expected value for us in the long term. So we don't mind doing that. I mean, we've had multiple people win Bored Ape Yacht Clubs for, a fraction of the price, but it makes sense because it's plus EV long term. So, sort of answering your question, if someone wins a Bored Ape, it literally just gets, our bot will buy it straight away off OpenSea, and then it'll transfer it into your Rollbit account, and you can withdraw that as soon as you want. So you don't have any more payments to make. It's just that's it. You've won it. Congratulations. If, for example, there's a weird edge case where somebody happened to buy it at the exact same time as you, we would just give you the value of the NFT. So, for example, if you were spinning like a Bored Ape worth $500,000, we would just credit you $500,000 into your account, and you could withdraw that as well. So, we've got that covered.
Yeah, that's actually awesome. Thanks for clearing that up. I completely understand now. I wish you guys the very best, and I hope that the Rollbit project stays bullish onward. Over to you now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Levi. Venice, you're next, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Noah. Actually, I read about a Rollbit partnership program, but it got me thinking that if there is any plan to also have a contest or competition for the best content or video produced by the affiliate as first impressions or everything, so it will also encourage everyone to put their best effort into the content creation as well to spread more awareness about Rollbit.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I mean, we run competitions sort of similar to that. I mean, not to that. We've not done that before, but yeah, you're right. That would be quite cool. We've done in the past like meme competitions where you can win like thousands of dollars, so it helps encourage. It's a good prize, good incentive. In fact, I can't even remember. I can't remember the number. I believe last year we ran a meme competition, and it was like the prizes were like It's like $20,000 or something. Split across like 20 days, $1,000 a day for the best meme. It's pretty insane. So yeah, that's a cool idea. Could be something we could explore in the future. In fact, I've seemed to think we've done like a video idea before. Actually, I remember seeing that. Yeah, maybe we have. But anyway, I could send you a DM afterwards, or you could DM me, and I could try and find that competition for you in the future as well. I mean, we're going to keep planning. We're planning on running these things sort of long term because, the community is, like obviously like a huge part of the site. Like I was saying before, the community to me is one of the most important factors of the whole site. I mean, that's what makes it fun. Sure, like the gambling's fun, but the most fun is when you're gambling with your friends and sharing your wins, sharing your losses, just memeing. I don't know. So yeah, good point, Venice. Thank you for that. We'll certainly explore that in the future.
Yeah, that's great. And thank you. Thank you so much for answering it.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Venice. Wise man, you're next.
Hi there. I had a question. I currently stake. I do all my gambling on stake, and they've got pretty good rewards. Why should I switch over there, Mr. Lisa?
Mr. Lisa. Okay. So before I get called out for this being staged, Wiseman's actually a very valuable member of our community. Good guy, funny guy. He doesn't play on stake because no one plays on stake if they've played on Rollbit before because our site's better. So our rewards are higher, our community's better, our games are better. We have NFTs that have paid back approximately $48 million back to holders. I mean, yeah, you just come on. You don't play on stake if you've played on Rollbit before. It's just simple.
Thanks for coming up, Wise Man. And then I think the last question from the audience is going to be from Rahmat.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Okay, so I can see that you have a fully fledged sportsbook. So I want to know that does your sportsbook creates a service aimed at unregulated markets or it is for regulated markets? And have you also obtained the license?
Yeah. So all of the markets. So our sportsbook is provided by like an official sportsbook provider. We don't create our own markets as such. So all the games are like official games. There's criteria the games must go through in order to be added. Particularly, you know, if there's a high risk market, then the amount of money your wager and stuff is going to be a lot lower. The in-game betting is going to be a lot lower because, you know, it could be rigged or fixed. So there's a tight leash kept on that. We really want to, you know, keep it as valid as possible. But no, we don't manage our own markets. Like I say, they're provided by an external provider. Yeah, we do. We're a fully licensed casino and sportsbook. If you go to the bottom of our website, you can find all the licensing information down there.
Understood. And is Rollbit also offering esports betting, or will you be offering that in future?
Yeah, we have esports betting, so CS:GO, Rocket League, FIFA, just, you know, StarCraft, Dota, all that kind of thing. We've also got, like I was saying, with the sports rollbots. You could buy a CS:GO sports rollbot, and every month you could get up to $500 free bet on a CS:GO rollbot, and you get that every month. So you could, you know, place a $500 free bet every month, and claim it. So it's quite cool. And there's also 50% of our sportsbook profit goes to the NFTs, so you also get profit share.
Awesome, awesome. And is there any limit on withdrawals, and are the withdrawals instant or it takes some time?
There is no withdrawal limit. I mean, of course, if you deposit $1 to the site and you try to withdraw 10 million, we're going to be, you know, going to have a look at that and just make sure that there's not some exploit or something that's been found. But after the investigation, if it was legit, you would just withdraw that straight away. Typically, there's no limits. There's no withdrawal limits. Well, there isn't any withdrawal limits ever. I mean, we've had people have stories where they've come on the site with, you know, 50k and taken away 14 million, and we've paid that out fine. So, I mean, no, there's no limits. Withdrawals typically instant. Like I say, the only time where a withdrawal wouldn't be instant is if it's outside of normal account behavior. So if you say you opened a brand new account and you would try to withdraw like a huge amount of money straight away, that would go into manual review, and it would take maybe an hour or something's less than that. Could be 5 minutes, could be an hour, could be 2 hours, and one of our team will review it. But yeah, it would just go out after that. But typically, for a normal user, you won't see any delays.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, final quick question. Is there also mobile application available on Google Play Store or iOS?
No, we don't have an app. Our website is fully mobile optimized. I've been saying it throughout the whole spaces. We have like incredible engineers on the back end. I mean, for our trading, the engineers that work on that previously worked at like massive finance companies, building their trading desks and whatnot. The same goes for all of our tech. The engineers are ridiculous, like best in class by a mile. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for answering.
No
Over to you,
worries.
Yeah, thank you, Rahmat. Lisa, thank you so much for coming on. And before you head out, is there anything that I didn't ask or the audience didn't ask about Rollbit that you'd like to share with us?
I mean, it's hard because, you know, there's only so much time. I can't go into every single detail of every single feature. But I would just say if you're an NFT collector, and you actually like utility, a proper utility NFT, I'd recommend doing research on Rollbit, on the rollbots, sports rollbots. You can DM me. You can, if you want to buy one, I'll tell you if it's a good deal or not. But typically, with sports rollbots and rollbots right now, you're getting like on sports rollbots about 60% return a year on an investment on that, and the price of the asset doesn't change. I mean, I've had all my sports rollbots since launch, and the price has only gone up, and the utility stays the same. So you're literally just generating money from holding an asset, and typically, that sounds like too good to be true, but in reality, it's a casino. Casinos make money, and when you buy into the NFTs, you're sort of like not buying like a part of the casino, but you're like investing into the casino, and it does well. So yeah, check out the NFTs for sure. And also, if anyone has any more questions, feel free to join the Rollbit Discord, and I can answer them. All good. Thanks for having me, though. No, appreciate it.
Yeah, Lisa, we really appreciate you coming on and teaching us more about Rollbit. It sounds like the NFTs can be lucrative potentially just by holding and earning a portion of the house money. But I think people should use their own caution. Always invest what you're willing to lose. Remember, everything you hear on Whale Coin Talk is educational purposes only. So thank you again for coming on, Lisa. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me. A really good show. I've joined the show before, different topics. Super. So, yeah, thanks for coming, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Otherwise, have a good night.
Yeah, you too, Lisa. Take care. Cheers.